Hi Cambridge class, this is our second lesson and today we're going to be dividing by 10, 100 and 1000. First of all, I'd like you to have a go at this true or false question. The place value grid shows the answer to 348 times 100. Is that true or false? Pause the video while you have a think. So you should have got that it is true. This is 348, 300s, 4 10s and 8 1s. And if you multiply by 100, yesterday we looked at the fact that you would move everything 2 places to the left. So 300s would become 3 tens of thousands, 4 10s would become 4,000s and 8 1s would become 800s. Well done if you said true. Similar to yesterday, we're going to complete these division sentences. So we've got 60 divided by 10. Yesterday we discovered that if you multiply by 10, everything moves 1 place to the left because it's got 1 0. If you divide by 10, everything moves 1 place to the right. So 6 10s and 0 1s, everything's going to move 1 place to the right. 6 10s will become 6 1s and the 0 will just disappear. We don't need the 0 anymore. It actually goes into the tenths column, which is here, but we don't need to worry about that. We could put 6 or 6.0, but the 0.0 is not necessary, so we just say 6. 490 divided by 10. So again, we are dividing by 10, so we're moving everything 1 place to the right. So 400s becomes 4 10s. 9 10s becomes 9 1s. And our 0 just jumps into our tenths column, which is just next to our imaginary decimal point here. And we don't need that. We don't need 49.0. So we just say 49. 1,490 divided by 10. Again, move 1 place to the right, so your 1,000 will become 100. Your 400s becomes 4 10s. Your 9 10s becomes 9 1s. And again, your 0 jumps next to the decimal point, and we don't need it. So we just write 149. Here's a question for you to think about. What happens to the digits when you divide a number by 10? Have a think. So when you divide a number by 10, all the digits move 1 place to the right. Now complete the division sentences, and they all involve dividing by 10. Sometimes you've got an equal sign here, and it just means exactly the same. So 1,460 divided by 10 equals is the same as something equals 1,460 divided by 10. Pause the video while you work these questions out, and you can draw yourself a place value chart if you want one. So 90 divided by 10, I've got 9 10s and 0 1s, and if I divide by 10, everything moves 1 place to the right. It's going to be 9 1s. 750 divided by 10, 700, 5 10s, no 1s. I'm going to move everything 1 place to the right. So my 700 is going to move to my tens column. It's going to be 7 10s, and my 5 10s is going to become 5 1s. So that is 75. 820 divided by 10, 800 is going to jump to your tens column again, so it's 82. 1,460 divided by 10, so 1 was in my thousands column, it's now going to be in my hundreds column, which is 146. 32,390. 32,390. My 3 tens of thousands is going to jump into my thousands column. So 3,239. 6,200, that's 6,000 is going to jump to the hundreds column. That's 620. 700 divided by 10. My 700 is going to jump to be my tens column. So 70. 9 tens of thousand is going to jump one place to the right to be in my thousands column. 9,200. Well done if you got those right. Now there's some other divisions to do. So you're not just dividing by 10, you're dividing by 100 or 1,000. Just like before, if you divide by 100, because there's 2 zeros in the number, you're moving it 2 places to the right. If you're dividing by 1,000, because there's 3 zeros in the number, you're moving it 3 places to the right. So 900 divided by 100, moving it 2 places to the right, and it's going to be 9 ones. Pause the video while you complete the rest. So 16,000, moving it 2 places, that's going to be 100. And the 6,000 is going to move 2 places, that's going to be 6 tens. And we need just 1 zero as a placeholder. So it's 160. $9,000 divided by 1,000. That means 3 places to the right because it's got 3 zeros in it. That's going to become 9 ones. 768,000 is going to move 3 places. 1, 2, 3. It's going to be in the hundreds column. 768. What number is represented in the place value grid here? We've got to divide the number by 100. Which direction do the counters move if you divide? How many columns do they move? How do you know how many columns to move? And what number do we have now? Pause the video while you answer the question. So this number represents 1 tens of thousands, 2 thousands, 300s, no tens, and no ones. So it's 12,300. Remember, you can put a comma after the thousands if you like. So that's the number that's represented. Divide the number by 100, so you've got to move everything 2 places to the right. The 1 tens of thousand is going to become 100. The 2,000 is going to become 2 tens. The 300 is going to become 3 ones. So it's 123. Which direction do the counters move? They move to the right. How many columns do they move? They move twice. And how do we know how many columns to move? If you're dividing by 100, because there's 2 zeros in the number 100, you move it 2 places to the right. So what number do we have now? 123. Now complete these division sentences. Sometimes you've got the missing number at the beginning, and that means you do the inverse. So a number divided by 10 equals 76. So before you moved it 1 place to the right, what was the number? To get the answer, you can move it 1 place to the left, so you're doing the inverse. So it's 76 multiplied by 10. 76 multiplied by 100. 76 multiplied by 1,000. Pause the video while you answer these questions. So 4,500 divided by 10, 4,000 is going to jump 1 place to the right. It's going to become 450. 62,000, that's tens of thousands, it's going to move 1 place to the right. It's going to go into the thousands column. 6,200. 739,300 is going to move 1 place to the right. That's going to be 7 tens of thousands. So 73,000. 73,000 930. What to think then? 4,500 divided by 100. Now we're going to move 2 places to the right. That's 4,000. It's going to move 2 places to the right and become 4 tens. That's 45. 62,000. This is the 6 tens of thousands. If you look at tens of thousands here, 2 places to the right is going to become hundreds. So 620. 739,300. This is hundreds of thousands. If you divide by 100, you're moving it 2 places to the right. It's going to be 7,000s. 7,393. Something divided by 10 is 76. We've got to do the inverse. We're going to times it by 10. So 7 tens multiplied by 10 is going to be 760. 76 multiplied by 100, moving it 2 places to the left, 7,600. 76 moving 3 places to the left to multiply by 1,000 is 76,000. Something multiplied by 1,000 equals 30. So again, I've got to do my inverse. Here's 30. I've got to move everything 3 places to the left to times by 1,000. 1, 2, 3. It's going to be 3 tens of thousands. No thousands, no hundreds, no tens, no ones. 300 times by 1,000 to get my original number. So now I've got 300. I've got to move it 3 places to the right. 1, 2, 3. It's going to be 300,000. And 3,000 times 1,000. So I start here with my 3. Got to move it 3 places to the left to do the inverse. It's going to be 3 in the millions. 3, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Well done if you got those right. Now we have to complete this table. We have our initial number, 65,000. We've got to divide it by 10 and put the answer. Divide the original number by 100 and divide the original number by 1,000 and put our answer. But then we've got some other ones. Something divided by 10 equals 7,200. That's going to help us find our original number. Then we can divide our original number by 100 and then by 1,000. A number divided by 100 equals 3,500. If you multiply it by 100, you're going to get your original number. Let's do the first few together. 65,000. I'm going to write that here. 65,000 divided by 10. That's 1 place to the right. Let's jump in here. That's 6,500. Divided by 100, I've got to move it 1 more place. Divide it by 1,000, move it 1 more place after that. Or move it 2 places from this original one, and for this one, 3 places from this original one. So divided by 10 equals 6,500. To get this number, something divided by 10 equals 7,200. So if I multiply this by 10, I'm going to get my original number. 7,200 multiplied by 10 is 1 place to the left. That's going to jump over here. 7 tens of thousands. 200 is going to become 7,000s. And then 3 zeros as placeholders. So 72,000 is my original number. Let's just check. 72,000 divided by 10 is 7,200. So you can now use this number to help you divide by 100 and divide by 1,000. Before you can get this one, you need to multiply 3,500 by 100 to get your original number. You're doing the inverse. Pause the video while you complete the table. Don't forget you can draw yourself a place value chart if you like. So 65,000 divided by 100, that's moving 2 places to the left, to the right, sorry, getting smaller, or it's moving 1 more place to the right from this number. That's 6,000 is going to become 600, and then the 50. If I divide by 1,000, I can jump 3 places to the right from this number, or 1 more place to the right from this number. Because to divide by 10, you move 1 place. To divide by 100, you move 2 places. And to divide by 1,000, you move 3 places. 72,000 divided by 10 is 7,200. Divided by 100, so another 10, is 720. Divided by 1,000, so you're dividing by another 10, is 72. To get this one, something divided by 100 equals 3,500. So this times by 100, so 3,000s jumped 2 places to the left is 100,000. 350,000. Divided by 10 is 35,000. Divided by 100 is 3,500. Divided by 1,000, so divide this by 10 more, is 350. Well done if you got that right. Next one. Write the correct symbol in the circle to make the statements true. And what's a really effective way, so you don't forget, is to write your answer underneath each question. Let's do the first one together. 4,900 divided by 10. So 4,900 divided by 10. There's 1 0 in 10, which means I move it 1 place, and I'm dividing, so I'm moving to the right, so it's getting smaller. 4,000 becomes 400s, 900s becomes 9 10s, and we need a placeholder still. There's no 10s becomes no 1s. So it's 490 here. 4,900, this is the original number, divided by 100. 2 zeros and 100, which means 2 places to the right. That's going to jump 2 places and become 4 10s. The 900 is going to jump 2 places and become 9 1s. So my answer is 49. 490 is bigger than 49, so my crocodile will eat the 490. Pause the video while you complete the others. 56,000. That's 5 tens of thousands. It's going to divide by 100, so jump 2 places and become 560. 65,000, that's 6 and a 5. They're going to move 2 places to the right, and that 6 is going to become 600s. So 650. 650 is bigger than 560, so the crocodile's mouth will point towards the 650. 93,000 divided by 1,000. I move it 3 places to the right. 93,000 looks like this, 93,000. So my 9's here. If I divide by 1,000, I'm moving it 3 places to the right. 1, 2, 3. It's going to become 9 10s. And the 3 follows it, so it's 3 1s. 9,300 divided by 100. 9,300 will have a 9 here. It's got to divide by 100, so jump 2 places to the right. 1, 2. It's going to also be 93. 5,700 divided by 100. I've got to move it 2 places to the right because there's 100 here, 2 zeros. 5,700, my 5 would be here. 2 places to the right is going to be 5 in the tens column, so 57. And 5,700, my 5 is here. 3 places to the right, 1, 2, 3. It's 5 in the thousands column. Sorry, 5 in the hundreds column. Sorry, 5 in the ones column. And my 7 is going to be in the tenths column. It's next to the ones. We've got to put a decimal point and a 7. And when you come back to school, we're going to be looking at decimals. So you'll learn more about that then. 5.7. Well done if you got those right. Just do the symbols. So equals, and then this one is bigger, and that's the answer. Complete the sentences. Dividing a number by 10 and then by 10 again is the same as what? Dividing a number by 1,000 is the same as dividing by 10 and then what? If you're not sure, give yourself a number on the place value chart and work it out. Pause the video while you complete these sentences. So if I divide a number by 10 and then 10 again, let's say 560, let's say 500 actually, so 500 divided by 10, I'm going to jump here, 5 tens, 0 ones, and then by 10 again, my 5 tens is now going to be in my 5 ones. What's it the same as? It was 500, but now divided by 10 and divided by 10 again. It's the same as dividing by 100. Dividing a number by 1,000 is the same as, so if I start with 5,000, if I divide it by 1,000, I'm going to move it 3 places to the right. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to get 5 ones. So dividing a number by 1,000 is the same as dividing by 10 to get 500. And then what? You could say and then by 10 and then by 10, or and then by 100. This is your last question of the day. Here are the answers to some problems. 5,700, 405, 397, 6,203. Can you write at least 2 questions for each answer involving dividing by 10, 100 or 1,000? So these are all your answers. Can you write at least 2 questions for each answer? For example, this is our answer, so something, it could be divided by 10 or divided by 100 or divided by 1,000. Just get my divide symbol. So something divided by 10 equals 5,700. Well, to get my something, I need to do the inverse. 5,700 times by 10 is going to be 57,000. I've got to include some dividing by 10, some dividing by 100 and some dividing by 1,000. I could also have, for the answer, 405. So 405 is my answer. My question could be something divided by 100 equals 405. So to get my original number, I've got to do my inverse. 405 times by 100. So moving it 2 places to the left. 40,500 divided by 100 equals 405. Now you have a go. We want at least 2 questions for each answer and trying to involve divided by 10, dividing by 100 and dividing by 1,000. Pause the video while you do this. There's many possible options, but here are some of them which you might have. 3,970 divided by 10 equals 397. 57,000 divided by 10 equals 5,700. That's what we've got. 397,000 divided by 1,000 equals 397. 40,500 divided by 100 equals 405. 620,300 divided by 100 equals 6,203. Well done today. Tomorrow and Thursday we will be using our skills to convert units of measurement. See you then.